This has to be the strangest review I've ever been tasked with. It's like I've already reviewed this phone, maybe because it looks exactly the same as the iPhone 5 from 2012. But while the 5 and the 5S were Apple's top phones back then, the new iPhone SE has a very different role to play. It's here to keep fans of small phones with Apple and to tap an important market niche in developing regions. To me, however, it raises a question. Does the world still need a phone with a 4-inch screen? Be it with the latest and greatest tech, which is the case here. After using 5-inch phones for the better part of the last couple of years, including the iPhone 6, I feel like my hands have permanently adjusted to the big screen format. And what's more, I'm wondering if a smartphone with a 4-inch display can still do all the things we expect from it in an adequate manner, like browsing the web or doing productive tasks on the smartphone or Facebook or gaming and more. Well, guess what? We're about to find out. I'm Ray from PhoneArena and this is our iPhone SE video review. You can imagine the tension in the air when I first took the iPhone SE out of its box. At first, seeing this old buddy, which looks exactly the same as the iPhone 5S, I thought, hey, this is a nice phone. But a few seconds later, I could already feel the sharp edges of the metal boxy shape cutting right into my fingers. This phone may be pretty, but it sure is not very ergonomic. The SE is well built though, with stable and clicky buttons, but what's more important here are the dimensions and the weight. The SE is extremely compact and light by today's standards. It's very refreshing to once again use such a small device, a considerably more effortless experience compared to the full-size slates of today. However, the iPhone SE's wide bezels all around do make it look somewhat old school and inefficient. The 4-inch IPS LCD screen of the iPhone SE is terrific. Its resolution is very high with 326 pixels per inch. Now the interesting thing is that reading text and discerning fine details on the screen doesn't make you squint or focus more than usual, because iOS scales correctly to display the items on the screen with adequate size. Of course, this means you'll be seeing less content on the SE than on the iPhone 6s. Outdoor visibility is pretty decent while color balance is great. Color temperature is just a tad colder than needed, but overall colors are very accurate and true to life, while the display's gamma is spot on, producing a deep and dynamic look that's also natural. Unfortunately, there is no 3D touch here, but you know what? The fact that you can easily reach all corners of the screen with a single thumb like this easily offsets the loss. Using the iPhone SE is a very simple and straightforward process. First, the user interface is structured in a way that's uncluttered and makes sense. And second, it's very intuitive. The Touch ID fingerprint scanner built into the iPhone SE's home button is very fast and reliable. It's very easy to set up and in my experience, it works like a charm. One noticeable problem I started having after I moved from the iPhone 6 to the iPhone SE was the on-screen keyboard. On the SE's cramped layout, I definitely found myself doing more typos, which is to be expected, I guess. Equipped with the top-shelf A9 processor, the iPhone SE simply flies. I don't think I've encountered a single stutter or delay while using it. It has an extremely powerful dual-core CPU and a GPU that lets you play desktop-level games on this entry-level iPhone. But of course, the 4-inch screen tends to be somewhat claustrophobic at times. For more casual titles with bigger graphics and less text to read, the screen size is decent. The biggest limiting factor in terms of the web browsing experience is the 4-inch display. While iOS interface graphics are appropriately scaled so they can be displayed in an eye-friendly size, not much can be done when it comes to web pages within the excellent Safari browser. Things are generally quite small, and while the nimble navigation and advanced text rendering within Safari do make the experience more than tolerable, it just can't be as convenient as it is on a bigger screen. The iPhone SE comes with the familiar 12-megapixel shooter from the iPhone 6s, but this time the camera lens doesn't stick out from the back, simply because the SE is thicker. The apps interface is very clean, though there are no advanced menu options, as the iPhone SE prefers to handle almost everything automatically. Aside from the improved resolution and sensor, the biggest new camera feature is live photos. It basically records a very short video snippet around the moment that you tap the camera shutter key. Then, as you view your images in the gallery, you can long press those which were shown as live photos in order to play the video moment. General photo quality is top-notch with the iPhone SE. Images are dynamic and natural with lively and mostly realistic colors, though not always. Detail level is very high, although it quickly deteriorates when shooting at night. Indoors, the iPhone SE is about as good as any other top-shelf smartphone camera. From my experience, it can easily go toe-to-toe with leading competitors like Galaxy S7 or G5. When things get real dark, optically stabilized shooters with wider apertures, such as the Galaxy S7, do show their superiority. But that's mostly in cases like shooting at nightclubs, bars, and other similar environments. For normally lit rooms, the iPhone SE doesn't seem inferior. Switching our focus to the front camera, it's the old 1.2 megapixel selfie snapper, but I have to say, in most conditions, it doesn't really fall behind the best of the competition in terms of effortlessness and overall quality. The captured video footage tends to have slightly warmed-up colors, which probably makes it look better to some consumers, but I find it unneeded. I would rather have the natural version of the scene. Other than that, there's good amount of detail, but my favorite part is just how smooth and artifact-free the footage recorded with the iPhone SE is. The earpiece of the iPhone SE outputs decent loudness, and when both your and your caller's network conditions are good, you'll be enjoying nice and natural sounding tones. iPhones have never exactly been battery champions, but they aren't the worst performers either. One can typically expect about a normal day and a half of not too intensive usage. The SE bumped up the battery capacity slightly from the 5S, but my experience didn't reveal any considerable improvements in the area. If the SE does have better battery life, I would say the difference is mostly negligible. If you are using your phone really heavily with features such as GPS or 3G, 4G video streaming, you shouldn't expect it to last more than a day. I think there's definitely place on the market for high-end phones that are also small. After returning to the mini form factor, I can say there's definitely something valuable in how easy it is to work with a smartphone of such caliber, without sacrificing much of the handheld power we've gotten used to. However, the combination of the old and not so ergonomic design, along with the smallish screen and thicker profile, make the iPhone SE seem dated next to the iPhone 6 and 6S. Yes, keeping the old design means the piles of cases and accessories iPhone 5 and 5S users have accumulated over the years will still be compatible. But I think a sleeker, newer design would have made everyone happier. That said, the SE is still a great phone with excellent performance and reliability across the board. If you absolutely can't stand the bigger iPhones, then sure, there are a few reasons not to get the SE. But if you find yourself mostly attracted by its more affordable price tag, I would recommend that you go for the older but sleeker iPhone 6 or look at refurbished options for iPhone 6 or 6S. But hey, if anything, the SE makes us hopeful that other smartphone makers may also return to this lovely but largely neglected niche. Thank you for watching our video review of the iPhone SE. If you'd like to learn more, check us out at PhoneArena.com.